Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss to the topic is life cycle of frog. The frog commonly it is called as a Rana tigrina. It is commonly called as a Indian bullfrog, and various types of species are there. Frogs, different types. So frogs are living in water and terrestrial. That's why we are named as a amphibians. It is mainly endurance and salamanders. Different types of species are there in this ecosystem. Generally, we are going to discuss the life cycle of frog. The first one that is called as a adult frog. It is called as a adult frog. Adult frog, it contains what is that structure of adult frog, forelimbs and hind limbs, skin, a pair of eyes, and what is that bifurcated tongue, okay, skin, okay, etc. All morphological structures are there into that frog. The frogs are mainly male frog and female frog, both are separate here. These are mainly unisexual, male and female both are separate, that's why it is called as unisexual organisms. So during rainy season, male, it contains what is that vocal cords and amplexary pads. With the help of these amplexary pads, at the time when the females are coming into that near to that place, males and female both are coming to near, at the time they are mating. The mating we are now calling as a what is that fertilization. At this stage they are releasing what is that eggs. The eggs are releasing into that water. So this fertilization is called as a external fertilization. At this stage, male is releasing sperms, that is called as a milt. The female is releasing ovas or ovaries, that is we are called as a sperm. Now male and female both are coming to the near after fertilization or after mating. The what is that eggs are releasing into that water. The eggs are now developing into that various stages. The various stages is different types here. So see here, this is the adult frog. Whenever it is releasing into that eggs on to that water, they have a round structure like forming. The round structures now we are called as a what is that eggs. This is called as a egg stage. So mass of the gum-like structure, mass of the gelatinous-like structures are forming. Approximately 1000 to 2000 eggs are releasing into that water. So when it is releasing into that water eggs, the eggs are, they have a small round-like structure, central region, nucleus, and surrounding region, gum-like structure it is forming. This is the mass of the bunch grapes-like structures are forming here, that is called as a egg stage. It is called as a egg. Now mass of the eggs are forming. They are wherever stagnant water are there, on the stagnant water they are releasing. Approximately in the month of June and July, during rainy season, frogs are releasing their eggs into that water. Now the eggs are releasing into that water, central region, likewise these all are the bunch grapes like structures are forming. Now they have some changes every 24 hours. Every 24 hours they are changing some structures. So this is the egg stage. Now further the stage is called as a what is that embryo stage. So internal structure somewhat changing here. What is that invasion or internal structures here some changing. So it is further forming the structure that is called as a embryo. So here when it is forming as a zygote, the zygote is showing some stages, that is called as a one cell is dividing 2 cell, 2 cell is dividing 4 cell, 4 cell is dividing 8 cell, 8 is dividing 16 cell. Likewise Marla stage is forming. After 16 stage it is now reaching into the 32 cell stage. Likewise Marla stage, Blastula stage, Gastrula stage is forming here. So after gastrulation, the process it is further forming as a small what is that structure, that is called as a larva like structure. So this larva we are named as a what is that tadpole larva. Inner side so tadpole larvas are forming. It is the what is that surrounding region it contains stagnant water, it is called as a water. Here different types of biota is there in aquatic ecosystem. So either fungi, either blue green algae, etc. is there. So here tadpoles clinging to water plants, so it is attaching here into that what is that fungi, etc. Now this stage is called as a tadpoles clinging to water plant. After next stage somewhat changing, the changing structure, what it changing means, so developmental stages here, that is called as a eye. Eye is developing somewhat, and here we can observe, it is very clear in this picture, this is called as a gills. So which type of gills? The gills are mainly what is that external and internal gills are forming here. In this stage, which type of respiration is going on in this stage means, this respiration is called as a what is that gills respiration. Which respiration? Gills respiration. So in this stage the gills respiration is forming here. So eyes and gills etc. is forming. Now external gills for breathing. So it looks like a fish like structure. So fish like structure is forming here. It looks like a fish. So gills are forming, that's why it is called as a fish like structure is forming. So this is the external gills for breathing. Now eyes and somewhat snout etc. eyes are developing here completely, a pair of eyes, gills are forming here, and next tail keeps on growing. So they are taking what is that collecting food material. So collecting food material, tail keeps on growing, so they are taking nutritions onto that aquatic ecosystem or surrounding water. Now they are moving from one place to another place, okay, or by the week of third or fourth week, they may be social. Social means they are moving from one place to another place. The movement we are called as a swimming. So they are swimming onto that water. So fish like swimming is going on in this stage. So this is called as a tail keeps on growing. So whenever it is taking continuously food material, they have some changes, internal side or external side, either gill stage, either etc. So next one here, after tadpole stage, the next stage is called as a what is that hind legs appearing stage. See here in this picture, it is very clear here, not a forelimbs are forming, so hind limbs are forming. So hind limbs are forming, here it contains a complete tail, okay. Here also tail it contains, but the tail is somewhat reducing here whenever the hind limbs are forming or the hind limbs are coming outside, at that time somewhat reducing of the tail, okay. So see here, the eyes are developing here, the structure is forming somewhat frog like structure, okay, from what is the tadpole to next stage. See here, hind legs are forming, both are the hind legs, and what is that tail is forming. Inner side we can observe here, what is that alimentary canal and mouth, okay, and intestine also forming here in this stage, and heart. From what is that heart is mainly here, three chambered of heart is forming here, two atria and one ventricle, and closed type of circulation is there. The blood is flowing through the blood vessels, that's why it is called as a closed type of circulation. In various parts, from heart to various parts, the blood is supplying in this stage. We can observe with naked eye, it is very clear in this diagram. And next one are in-field visit. See here, next one here, lives from the food store in the tail. Whenever it is taking into that food material, the food is what is that lives from the food stores in the tail. So tail is somewhat developing here, as well as what happened here, whenever hind limbs are forming, the tail is somewhat reducing day by day. So likewise, lives from the food stores in the tail, eyes, a pair of eyes, it looks like a what is that small, what is that frog like structure here it is forming, but no, not forelimbs are not appearing still, okay. So it is living where? It is living now also in water, right. And next one, next stage here, front legs are appearing. So these are called as a front legs. So front legs are forming here. Here hind limbs already forming, hind limbs and forelimbs also forming. Okay. On that forelimbs and hind limbs, they have a pentadactyl limbs, okay, and vocal cords and snout, okay, a pair of eyes, okay, skin, etc. is somewhat changing and developing also. So front legs also forming, so front legs appearing. Whenever forelimbs and hind limbs both are forming, at the time what happened here, lungs also developing here, lungs also developing. When lungs become functional in this stage, the tail is now reducing continuously. So next stage, tail becomes shorter here, tail becomes shorter, tail is shorter here, forelimbs and hind limbs both are coming outside completely. So at this stage, tail is reducing. When tail is reducing, here lungs become functional. When lungs become functional, from this stage, the frog is doing respiration with the help of lungs. So the lungs respiration we are called as a pulmonary respiration. So likewise, so tail becomes when it is shorter. Now what is that young frog is forming here. So that is the froglet stage we are called. The froglet stage is the somewhat frog-like structure. Here tail is present, but on that froglet stage somewhat disappearing or reducing of that tail. In this process, what happened here from tadpole stage to here froglet stage, here metamorphosis is forming. What is the metamorphosis? So changing from one form to another form, okay, the process is called as a metamorphosis. Okay, here gills, the external gills and internal gills also forming. With the help of gills they are doing respiration, gills respiration it is called as a. When reducing of the tail, the respiration is now with the help of lungs, that's why in this stage that is called as a pulmonary respiration. So likewise, young frog is forming by the week of 12 to 16 weeks. Okay, 12 to 16 weeks, the froglet stage to frog is forming. So now it is reaching into that adult frog. So whenever it is reaching into that adult frog, again the life cycle is going on. So adult frog is again the mating. When it is mating, again it is releasing into that eggs onto that water. Again the life cycle is going on. We can observe here species, frog species also. See here it contains a eyes also present. Okay, a pair of eyes. Here forelimbs and hind limbs also present. Okay, and mouth is present here. On that mouth, bifurcated tongue is present. So whenever the frogs are social, whenever the tadpoles are social, at that time they are taking frogs insects. Okay, so whenever it is taking insects, that is called as with the help of bifurcated tongue, they are receiving food material with the help of bifurcated tongue. As well as all parts are developing into that frog, either what is that skin color, either pentadactyl limbs, okay, or what is that mouth, we can observe in this diagram, it is very clear. So this is the species of frog. So we have to protect our amphibian species. So dependable organisms they can survive, otherwise they won't survive, dependable organisms in this ecosystem. If grass is there, grasshopper is there. If grasshopper is there, frogs are there. If frogs are there, the species, the next dependable species, that is snakes also there. If snakes also there, birds. If dependable species another, that is the mammals. If mammals are there, the man will survive. Otherwise, it is question mark into that food web. So you have to protect each and every species, not only frog or another wildlife animals. If you take any other wild animals, etc., etc., you have to increase our forest, you have to protect our food web, you have to protect our what is that ecosystem. It is very important role in this field. So today we completed our what is that topic, life cycle of frog. So thanking you, all of you. If it is clear, please subscribe my channel. Thank you once again. Thank you one and all.